Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Negler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Wednesday, and the Packers are back on the practice field, as is Kylan Hill. That's right, the second-year running back will be coming onto the practice field, but we don't know if he's activated yet quite to the official roster just as of this moment. Something that the Packers can do at their disposal, unlike past years. They can immediately place him on the active roster coming off the PUP. We will see most likely later this afternoon when we get a look at any kind of roster movements. But he is back on the practice field out there for the first time since suffering that ACL injury in Arizona in week 8 last season. Obviously, exciting step. Another running back for the Packers to ignore on offense. I kid because I love the Packers. Anyway, but yes, the Packers turning the page, so to speak, putting London in the rearview mirror. Guys got an extra hour, according to LaFleur, but now they are back at it, their regular routine. Aaron Rodgers will speak later this afternoon. We obviously heard a little bit from him on McAfee yesterday, dealing with a thumb injury, which means he will not practice today. Now, Matt LaFleur did say that he has no concerns for game day, but that is something to monitor. If it's bad enough that they're going to hold him out of practice, certainly something to watch. And as I guess somewhat jokingly, but not really, because there's an ounce's truth in every joke, put on Twitter a little bit ago, Brett Favre suffered that thumb injury in 2003, which led to them feeding Amon Green to a franchise record 1,883-yard season. I wouldn't hate it if history repeated itself in that regard. And instead of just one Amon Green, you got two. You got Aaron Rodgers and A.J. Dillon, or Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. So let's rock and roll, man. Let's hand that ball off. Let's run the ball. I'm down with it. Let's go. So we'll see. That presumably means that Jordan Love will be getting all the reps with the number one offense today. More development for the young QB. Hello to everybody in the comments. Good to see you all. Before I get to your comments, let me give a shout out to everybody who possibly might be at the game on Sunday. If you're in the Green Bay area, please stop on by the Plaza Pit Stop at the Rest Center right across from Lambeau Field and get yourself some Carry the G. That's right, Carry the G will be available for purchase there at the Plaza Pit Stop, and I will be there at 9 a.m. That's right, 3 hours before kickoff, every home game. Either Corey or myself will be there, and this week it's me. So far it's been all Corey, but this week I'll be there at the Plaza Pit Stop at 9 a.m. That's right. I'm coming back from England, folks, where, man, I go into the breakfast spot down the corner from the hotel, and there are dudes like 3 in when I arrive at like 9 a.m. I love London. Man, I love London. That is my kind of town. Anyway, so hopefully I'll see you guys 9 a.m. at the Plaza Pit Stop at the Rest Center. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? We got folks up in these comments. So good to see everybody. M, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Despite the loss, being in London, surrounded by Packers fans, made me feel how special this fan base is. Sad couldn't meet you. Go Pack, go. I really was hoping I'd run into you at some point, but never materialized. Thank you so much for the kind words. And yes, it is amazing. The vibe all weekend in London was absolutely incredible. Everywhere you went, every Packers fan you kind of seemingly ran into or just heard their stories and heard a little bit about like what the team means to them. It was really special. It was pretty damn magical. No doubt about it. But what else we got? Andy, thank you for the super chat. For some reason, this loss is sitting with me a little bit more than most. I think I get it, Andy. It was a very big event, a very unusual kind of moment in Packers history. This team, the way they've looked so far this year, and coupled with the familiarity with how they lost, seeming like throughout Matt's tenure in Green Bay, where once adversity hits, this team has real issues trying to fight back. I think all of those things kind of combine into a, well, why can't this team just, play a consistent brand of football? And why can't they put 4 quarters together? And I don't think that's any different than the questions being asked inside 1265 Lombardi this week. But I understand it. I get it. But as the title says, it's time to turn the page and get ready for the Jets. Hill returning could be the nail in the coffin for Amari. Got to wonder what he could have done in Cobb wasn't taking snaps from him. Illinois, what's up, man? Thanks for checking out the stream on Twitch. And I don't know if it's a 1-for-1. Maybe they do release Amari, try to get him back on the practice squad. Who knows? But Yeah, I think that fumble in London certainly isn't going to do him any favors. And I am 100% with you in the sense that when he was drafted, clearly the idea was to have him in the slot and be the presence that Randall Cobb now is, who was obviously traded for a few months after that draft pick was made. And I am with you. I do wonder how much different his career starts out if he is allowed to play right away and get significant minutes with the offense and with the quarterback. We'll never know. And we'll see. He is certainly in a bad spot right now, though. There is no doubt about it. Jeff Ness, thanks for the super chat. Upon further review, the lack of ball control on offense in the second half left our defense gassed after the long flight. Maybe? I don't think the long flight has much to do with it. I think it's just complimentary football or lack thereof. It wouldn't matter if they played that game in, Turkey or India or wherever, but they played at Lambeau Field. If you allow an 8-minute touchdown drive and then you go out and take all of 26 seconds off the clock, I don't care, if you walked to work that day or took a flight, it's going to be tough to get out there, turn that around real quick. So, I mean, more than anything, that's the issue I had with that whole sequence is it's just the lack of complementary football. You've got to play as a team. You got to support each other. You got to pick each other up, and the offense certainly did not do that in that regard. Gordon from Scotland, thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciated. What else we got? Stokes has world-class speed, as in makeup speed. Why is he told to play so far off? It's a great question, Matt. It's a great question. Sometimes it's up to him. Sometimes it's at the player's discretion. It's hard to know which calls are which and which, he's being told, okay, here you've got to do this. And then others are, okay, what is your comfort level on your pre-snap kind of set? I do think, it's not just Stokes in this regard, but something Matt mentioned on Monday. They have to do a better job of getting set prior to the snap of the football. There's a lot of meandering about and not being set when things take off. I think that will help 100% technique-wise. It's hard to get into your technique as you're just kind of jogging into place and suddenly the snap of the ball and you're turning your hips or whatever. I think that will maybe not go a long way, but it'll certainly help in some of those technique issues you've seen. Travis, thanks for the super chat. Do you believe Favre when he said the media is smearing him and saying he did nothing wrong? Whew, baby, that's a tough one. It's really hard to buy that at face value given the texts that are out there publicly, but the man will have his day in court. He has hired a very, significant lawyer to fight these accusations, and I think letting it play out in court at this point is probably the smartest play. Sideline report: Did your run the damn ball T-shirt sell out after the London game? I don't know about sold out, but they certainly had an uptick in sales. Let's put it that way. No question about it. What else we got? Bills and Bucks have run the ball 20 plus times less than we have. Why don't we come out under center more and mask what we are doing more? 20 plus times less than we have. A lot going on there, Jason. Why don't we come out under center more? I'm with you. I wish they would. Way, way, way too much shotgun for my liking, but it is a big part of their offense, and it's what they've kind of set their dial to, so to speak. The thing is you install this, and this becomes like you're the center of your offense starting back in April. It's not like you can get there in mid-October or early November and say, oh, you know what? We got to switch everything around. I do wish they'd get Aaron under center a lot more and obviously run out of that. I mean, they utilize a lot of the boot stuff and some of the play action off when Aaron's under center. I wish they'd lean into running the football more out of, that look. So those other plays would be more effective. And also they'd run the ball more. We'll give it to their really talented running backs. Too old for this. Thanks to the super chat. As a Minnesotan who will finally be going to Lambeau this weekend, I have to ask, how many birds does Lambeau kill on the average day? I believe that is less than one on the average day. Now, there will be exceptions, obviously. Gordon again, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Nags, you remember this? 20 minutes before kickoff, a random dude from a top tier to your left was waving down to you in the press area. You waved back, random dude was me. Thanks for making my day. Gordon, this is true, and I'm just going to be honest, right? I heard this sound, and you were saying my last name, I believe, and I think you were shouting Nagler, but you were like, what I assume is a thick Scottish brogue, Nagler! And I was like, what is that sound? And then after like 3 or 4 times, it kind of hit me that the sound and the word being uttered was my last name. And that's when I went, oh, there he is. There's someone yelling my name. So I'm sorry it took my Luddite American ears so long to kind of fixate on what the hell was being yelled at me. But thank you so much for saying hello. Each and every person in London who said hello. I really, from the bottom of my heart, I ran into a young kid I say young kid, he's like 20 something, but he approached me on the tube on Monday morning and was like, "Are you Aaron Nagler?" I'm like, "I'm in fucking London, people." And I wasn't wearing Cheesehead TV, no Packers gear. Like I was just on the tube. And this guy was like, "Are you Aaron?" Like it was a very surreal weekend. And I cannot thank you guys enough because it really, really meant a lot to hear from every single Packers fan, everyone who said hi, waved, told me about their fandom, etc. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Sean, thank you for the super chat. What percentage of plays are zone coverage? Seems too much. Well, it's really impossible to say if you don't have the play sheet, call sheet. I know there are plenty of times when it looks like zone, when it's actually maybe some kind of man match or vice versa. But I would tend to agree that there's a little too much zone being played. That I will say. F the haters. Packers are done. SMH. Colby, anyone saying the Packers are done can be safely ignored. And that's what, I wish in life, Twitter has the mute conversation function. Man, imagine that in real life. That would be dope. TKM, you're at your post. What's up, bud? Hope you're doing well, man. I don't think you realize how many people like you. Shirley, I think I know how many people dislike me, and I try not to think about, too much about how the way that people come to Cheesehead TV and however they utilize it. I just want to connect Packers fans. It's not about me. It's about the team. It's about the players more than anything, and the coaches and the team itself rather than me. You know what I mean? So I think when they like me, to your phrase here, I don't think it's me. I think it's the team. It's about connecting people through the team. That's number one. The whole reason Corey and I started doing this. It's why Packer transplants even ever started. The idea that you are someplace else other than Green Bay, Wisconsin, but you fucking love the Green Bay Packers. And obviously, this weekend really showed me how true that is. It's a real, I'm not going to say culmination, but it's a real kind of validation of what Corey and I thought back in 2007 when we started. The idea that we knew there were people all over the world who love the Green Bay Packers and were just as obsessed as us. But especially back then, there really wasn't a conduit to the team in a way that could make you feel connected to them. And that's the whole driving force behind Cheesehead TV. That is the whole reason we do what we do. So when you say like people, don't want people like me, I'm sure some people just kind of tolerate me more than like me, but that's all fine. It's all about the Packers. That's what it's all about. And I think people fucking love the Packers. Ryan, thanks for the super chat. Will the NFL become the no fun league again? Might as well play flag football. Oh, man, if you're talking about the fucking roughing the quarterback bullshit we've seen the last 2 weeks, oh my God. The Chris Jones one was almost more absurd than the Grady Jarrett one. Can these guys play some fucking football? And, this is why a number of the top flight refs, decided to walk away because they saw this coming. And now we've got these Carl Cheffers of the world who, he didn't lay a pillow under his head, so that's roughing the quarterback. Man, at some point, all of these guys know what they're doing out there. They all understand. And what pisses me off is this is all an overreaction to the ridiculous fucking blowback after Anthony Barr hurt Aaron Rodgers, which in the moment of that fucking play was completely legal, not dirty whatsoever, and yet the NFL went completely overboard trying to even more protect the quarterback. It's Ryan got me all riled up now. On Culture, what's up, man? Today's jams are Hammer in My Heart by Utopia and Hold the Line by Toto. Also, I may be a more harsh critic of Barry's defensive style than Brandy. I don't know if that's possible there on Culture, but she'll be undoubtedly will be on the Patreon happy hour later today. I believe at 5 Eastern, we're going to be kicking off. So if you can stop on by, it's going to be a lot of fun. You can challenge her to a duel. John, thank you for the super chat. In your opinion, how has the O-line performance contributed to the offensive performance so far this season? John, I think that's part of it, right? I don't think it's quite as bad as far as like, up and down, inconsistent, et cetera, as we saw throughout much of last year because they were dealing with juggling so many different spots last season. This year, I mean, it's pretty apparent, right? I mean, Newman is the weak link. There is zero doubt about that. Now, that doesn't mean everyone else has been perfect, been flawless, etc. But for the most part, everybody else has been pretty consistent. Jenkins obviously it's taking some time to round back into form coming off that injury, but I think for the most part, these last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been really good in the run game. He's getting better each week. In the pass game, I know Judon gave him some trouble last week, but for the most part, he's, at least solid. Newman's an issue. And I don't know how much longer they stick with him. I don't know what other probably, options they feel they have, but I don't think it's nearly the issue it was last year. I think you're definitely now that you're seeing more Bakhtiari, although I know he was back to being rotated this week because of the travel, etc. But I don't think it's as much of a problem as it was last year. Now, all of that said, if they want to be a team where Aaron Rodgers sits back there, surveys the field, and tries to take deep shots, I don't think they're well suited for that. I think they are very well suited for, firing off the ball, running the football, especially in the zone scheme, quick hitting passing. That I think they're 100% built for. But, protecting quarterback back there, 7-step drop, etc. You're not that guy, dude. You're not that guy. Forza, thank you for the super chat. Everyone talked all offseason about an adjustment period and perhaps some growing pains early, so let's not overreact now to what they're seeing. I think by week 10, we'll look even better than last year. That is entirely possible. The question is are you dropping games to teams you should beat? And the Packers should have beat the Giants. That's the whole thing. If you get to week 10 and you're playing lights out football, but you've won 5 games, you got trouble in River City. You know what I'm saying? But I feel you. I understand. Yes, it was always going to be an adjustment period. No question about it. You also didn't expect the defense to look like Swiss cheese. I mean, we're all into cheese here, but not the Swiss kind. What else we got? Uncultured again. What's up, babe? Unfortunately, the horrible officiating will not change as long as the NFL and owners are making huge profits, and I don't see a change coming soon. Very much agreed. That's pretty well stated. Uncultured again. When will it be Zach Tom Bombadil's season at right guard? Can he play right guard? Well, that's I love. Well, at least you caught yourself there. I mean, I do not recall. I mean, obviously, I don't have the notes here at my disposal live, but I don't recall him playing much, if any, right guard during camp. I remember left tackle. I remember right tackle. I remember left guard. I don't remember right guard. That doesn't mean he didn't. Doesn't mean he couldn't. But I don't recall much of it. That's for sure. And who knows? Adam's getting a citation for pushing a dude who ran right in front of him, SMH. Justin, I'm not going to talk too much about this. I went into it with Billy on Beer and Ball. If you haven't checked out the latest Beer and Ball, it's up on the YouTube channel and on every podcast platform you care to get your podcast from. I'll just say this, man, people are way, way too strident about this shit. Like, people are reacting. I think someone said on Twitter last night, it's like people are acting like he murdered someone on live television. Like, can we all just take a breath, take a step back? My goodness, it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I guess that's just where we're at right now. Tyler, thanks for the super chat. Had several people shout out my Packers tee in Italy. None for my friend and her Bears tee. The world carries the G. Side note, why is roughing the passer possible without a thrown ball? They are a running back. Not if they're in the pocket. There was a really annoying Giants fan behind us in the press area during the game who, Daniel Jones uses his legs quite a bit. And every time he got outside the pocket and would lower his head a little bit and get tackled and thereby hit, he would say, roughing the quarterback, helmet to helmet. Like, you are outside the pocket, you are a runner. And you are not afforded the protections of the quarterback. If you're in the pocket, even if you're not throwing the ball, you are still considered like, and I know on the Brady one, it was, I can't remember if the official said he had adopted a passing posture or some nonsense. But if you're in the pocket and you're a quarterback, you are afforded quarterback protections, which is annoying, but that's the way it is. Jared, thanks for the super chat. I hope Barry watched how that KC corner jammed Tay. That you're never, if you're looking for Joe Barry to run an offense like Steve Spagnuolo, I think you've got to readjust your expectations because that ain't ever going to happen. Rick Ward, thanks for the super chat. Carolina's receiver to Green Bay would just mean more hero ball, run the ball. Aikman stole my take, the dress off comment. Wow, a lot going on there, Rick. Yeah, and okay, the last part, that Aikman comment was ridiculous, and he rightfully got blowback. We're in the year 2022. There's no place for it. Carolina's receiver to Green Bay would just mean more hero ball. I don't think that's necessarily true. But look, Rodgers isn't going to change. He's 18 years in. He is who he is. The offense is good, right? Real close, right? Matt, you sound like you need some reassurance. Yeah, I think, Zach Cruz put it up there on Twitter yesterday. They are very close. It's almost always just one tick off. It kind of reminds me now. This is not for certain kind of thing, but it does remind me a little bit about where they were offensively back in 2016 in that Washington game, coming off the 4-6 start, and Rodgers saying, I think we're going to run the table. I'm not saying they're going to run the table. I'm not saying they're going to just flip a switch and turn it on, but it reminds me of that game, that Washington game in particular, where you can tell the potential is right there. They're a tick off, one guy here, one guy there. You get those things kind of flattened out and fixed, you can take off. Again, that's not going to just happen. You have to make it happen. You have to do the work. But yes, I think they're close. There's no doubt about it. I wish Cheesehead TV could bring Facebook back to life. Randy, nothing can bring that page back to life. I've been trying to get that back since the day after the day after the first day of the draft. That's how long it's been taken over and hacked. And I know 2 people who work at Facebook, one of them pretty high up, and nothing. So don't ever get your hopes up on that one. Debbie Downer, what a handle. Campbell needs to step up. Bad letdown so far. Thanks for the super chat. I don't know, bad letdown. He's not playing up to the standard he set last season. There's zero question about that. You've seen the flashes. There's certainly been moments where he's looked like the guy we saw last year who made the All-Pro team, but for certain, he's not playing at that level yet. And they have got to get him there. There's no doubt about it. They need him to step up. There's zero question about that. All right, buddy, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out and talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please, please, please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. Go Pack Go.